The observation deck of the Meridian hummed with nervous energy as Matilda pressed her palm against the reinforced viewport. Beyond the glass, the rift pulsed, a tear in reality itself, bleeding violet light into the void of space. She had studied dimensional anomalies for 15 years, but nothing in her research had prepared her for this. "It's widening," Atticus said from his station, fingers dancing across holographic displays. The young engineer's face was illuminated by cascading data streams, his expression grim. "Another 2 meters in the last hour." Matilda turned from the window, her dark eyes sharp with determination. "Any response from the probes?" "Nothing coherent, just screaming." Atticus pulled up an audio file, then thought better of it. "Trust me, you don't want to hear it." The Meridian was humanity's most advanced research vessel, positioned at the edge of explored space where the fabric of the universe had simply broken. 3 months ago, long-range sensors had detected the anomaly. 2 months ago, the Galactic Council had sent their best science team to investigate. 1 month ago, that team had disappeared without a trace. Now it was humanity's turn. "Captain Rodriguez won't wait much longer," Matilda said, moving to stand beside Atticus. "The Council is pressuring her to attempt a closure." "Closing something we don't understand?" Atticus shook his head. "That's how you make things worse." A deep, resonant thrum vibrated through the ship's hull. The lights flickered. On every screen, warnings flashed in angry red. "Something's coming through," Matilda whispered. The rift expanded violently, doubling in size in seconds, and then emerging from that impossible wound in space came the creature. It was wrong. That was the first coherent thought in Matilda's mind. The thing defied physics, biology, and sanity in equal measure. Its form shifted between dimensions, never quite solidifying into something the human eye could fully comprehend. One moment it appeared crystalline, the next organic, then mechanical, then something that had no name in any known language. "All hands. Battle stations." Captain Rodriguez's voice crackled over the intercom. "Shields to maximum." But the creature didn't attack. It simply existed, hanging in space before the Meridian like a terrible question mark. Atticus was the first to notice. "Matilda, look at the readings. It's not hostile. It's injured?" She pulled up his data stream and her breath caught. The creature's energy signature was erratic, pulsing weakly, and there, wrapped around what might have been its core, were fragments of the Council's ship. "It's trapped," Matilda realized. "The rift isn't a portal, it's a prison, and this thing has been trying to escape." Escape from what? As if in answer, something else stirred in the depths of the rift. Something that made the creature before them seem small by comparison. The violet light darkened to black and the temperature on the observation deck dropped 10 degrees in an instant. "Oh God," Atticus breathed. "There's something else in there." Matilda's mind raced. The Council team hadn't been destroyed, they'd been taken. And this creature, this thing that had terrified the most advanced species in the galaxy, was fleeing from something worse. "We need to help it," she said suddenly. "Are you insane?" Atticus stared at her. "That thing could tear us apart. So could whatever's chasing it." Matilda was already moving toward the communication console. "And if it gets through, if that rift opens fully, we're all dead anyway." She opened a channel to the bridge. "Captain, I need authorization to deploy the dimensional anchors." "Dr. Matilda, those anchors are designed to stabilize the rift, not to stabilize it. To weaponize it." Matilda's voice was steel. "We can collapse the rift, but we need to get that creature clear first." There was a long pause. Then, "You have 5 minutes." Atticus was already reconfiguring the anchors, his fingers moving with desperate precision. "This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Humanity's specialty," Matilda said with a tight smile. She activated the external speakers, broadcasting on every frequency. She didn't know if the creature could understand, didn't know if it could even hear, but she spoke anyway. "We're going to help you. When the anchors deploy, move toward us. We'll create a gap." The creature shifted, and for just a moment Matilda could have sworn it looked at her, really looked at her across dimensions and realities. Anchors deploying in 3, 2, 1, now. The Meridian shuddered as it released the dimensional anchors, 6 massive devices that embedded themselves around the rift's perimeter. Atticus triggered the sequence and space itself began to scream. The rift started to collapse, reality stitching itself back together. And in that moment the creature moved. It surged forward with desperate speed, fragments of the council ship falling away like shed skin. Behind it, from the closing rift, came a sound that would haunt Matilda's dreams for years. A roar of something vast and hungry, something that had been waiting in the dark between dimensions. The creature passed the meridian just as the rift snapped shut with a soundless implosion. The ship rocked violently, alarm screaming, but held together. When the chaos settled, the creature hung in space beside them, no longer shifting and terrible, but calm, almost peaceful. "It's transmitting something," Atticus said, voice full of wonder. He pulled up the translation matrix. "It's thanking us." Matilda watched as the creature began to fade, not dying but simply moving on, slipping sideways into some reality where it belonged. Before it disappeared completely, it left something behind. A data packet of impossible complexity downloading directly into the Meridian's computers. "What is it?" Captain Rodriguez asked over the comm. Atticus opened the file and his eyes went wide. "It's everything. Star charts to dimensions we never knew existed. Technologies that will advance us centuries. And a warning. A warning." Matilda read the translated message, her blood running cold. "There are more rifts opening across the galaxy. More things trying to escape. And what they're running from." She looked at Atticus, then at the empty space where the rift had been. "It's waking up." The Meridian turned slowly, beginning its long journey home. And in the observation deck, Matilda and Atticus stood side by side, knowing that humanity had just taken its first step into a war they didn't understand. But if there was one thing humans were good at, it was fighting impossible odds. After all, they'd just saved a monster from something worse. The end.